We are entering week 10. That is right, ladies and gents. We are going into week 10. That is nuts. Week 10 out of 18. This is going to be crazy. So let's go ahead and talk about this game. We got the Monday Night Football matchup between the Los Angeles Rams going to Santa Clara, California to take on the San Francisco 49ers at Levi Stadium. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. If it's not, let me know. The Rams coming off an absolutely horrific loss to the very solid Tennessee Titans team. In my opinion, the favorite to win the AFC. There's definitely a lot of stuff to talk about right now as news is buzzing about the Rams making another big-time all-in move. The Rams, out of left field, signed Odell Beckham Jr. That is absolutely crazy to think. This could either go, I've been texting a lot of my buddies all over Twitter, on Instagram. I've been getting lit up everywhere by people being like, okay, what's the mindset? There's two things. This could either be really good for the Rams or it could be really bad for the Rams. Here's the bad part. If OBJ continues to be as self-absorbent as he's been these past two times on the team, because it's already been made very clear, he wants the ball, okay? He does. He likes the attention. He likes being the main target. He likes getting the ball. And obviously, he didn't get enough of it on the Giants, so he went to the Browns. Didn't get enough of it on the Browns, so now he's on the Rams. Can he push his ego aside, and can he be adaptive to the role he needs to take here in LA? Or will his ego get to him again, and will he be another cancer in the Rams side? Or if not, and he adapts to the role that he's going to have to take here in LA, because it's very clear he's not going to be a main receiver. He's probably going to be filling in. I mean, let's see here. You got Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, and Van Jefferson. All three receivers who are just knocking it out of the park in terms of stats and just receiving in general. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Rams fill him in. But if he accepts his role, he could be a very solid receiver here in LA and could be a contribution to the Rams' playoff run this year. So let's go ahead and talk about this game. Like I said, the Los Angeles Rams taking on the San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football in Santa Clara, California. Let's look at some stats from last week. Both teams suffering a loss last week. We'll talk about the Niners first. The Niners took on the DeAndre Hopkins-less and the Kyler Murray-less Arizona Cardinals and lost by a final score of 31-17. Let's look at some stats. Jimmy Garoppolo went 28 for 40, 326 yards through the air. He threw one interception and 2 touchdowns. The Niners had a grand total of 39 rushing yards and a 26-yard field goal for a grand total of 17 points. And the Rams coming off an absolutely horrific Sunday night game at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California. And I was unfortunate enough to be at the game on my birthday and witness that whole thing go down. Let's look at some stats from that. Matthew Stafford went 31 for 48, 294 yards through the air. And with that 294 yards, he is now the NFL passing leader. So keep that in mind for Matthew Stafford. He threw 2 interceptions, which I only blame him for one of them. The pick 6 that he threw, that was... Okay, I don't even blame him for that. That was just a really good play by the corner. The other one, O-line literally gave him no time whatsoever. He probably shouldn't have thrown it, but, I mean, you can only do what you can do. So, 2 interceptions, he threw 1 touchdown. The Rams had 94 rushing yards, 3 field goals with a long of 54 yards, and scored a grand total of 16 points in their 28-16 loss over the Tennessee Titans. So, now kind of the biggest thing is, do the Rams recover? And in this situation, yeah, I really think they do. Just mainly due to the fact, because after their loss to the Cardinals at home, they went to Seattle to take on the Seahawks on primetime with Russell Wilson, may I add. On Thursday night, they went in there and they won. So that was a big win and a big comeback win in hostile territory on a primetime game. And now the Rams, coming off another home loss, go to take on the San Francisco 49ers on Monday Night Football in Santa Clara. Another very tough place to play on primetime. And it's going to be really interesting to see how the Niners handle this, because the last 2 years, the Niners have had the Rams number. The Niners have won the last 4 times they've played the Rams. And even with that in mind, we have to think, because you're probably curious, why am I not showing any highlights like I usually do on preview videos? The reason for that is because those things are completely irrelevant to where we're at now, because the Rams have a completely new team. They don't have Jared Goff anymore. They have Matthew Stafford. They don't have Josh Reynolds anymore. They don't have Todd Gurley. They don't have all these people who were liabilities. And now the Rams have a very solid team that I really wish would have a little bit more consistency in taking on these hard-to-beat teams. Because the Rams have played, I can say with confidence, the Rams have played, I can say, 3 teams that I can say with full confidence are going to probably make a run for the playoffs. And that is the Buccaneers, the Cardinals, and the Titans. And the Rams, out of all 3 of those games, the only team they beat were the Buccaneers, the defending Super Bowl champs, which is not good enough. The Rams have to beat the Cardinals. They should have beat the Titans, especially without Derrick Henry. But the Titans, God, they are such a good team. So I think the Titans are definitely the AFC favorites to win and probably go to the Super Bowl. But I do want to say this. The last time the Rams went to the Super Bowl and won the Super Bowl, when they beat the Titans in the Super Bowl, that same season, halfway through the season, the Rams lost to the Titans, but then went and saw them again in the Super Bowl and won. So could this be history repeating itself? It very well could be. But we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. We want to stay right here in the present. And speaking of the present, the Rams made another blockbuster move. Les Snead pulling out the stops once again after the big trade, signing Von Miller to the Rams. The Rams now have another star on their team. Odell Beckham Jr. is now a Los Angeles Ram. As I said before, this could be a really good thing for the Rams or a really bad thing for the Rams. But in terms of the current game, Von Miller is definitely going to play. He'll be making his Rams debut against the 49ers. I probably can say the same for OBJ. It's really going to be interesting to see how the Rams handle this. But overall, I think the Rams are just the overall better team in this situation. Even though the Niners do have their moments, and obviously these past few years the Niners have had the Rams number. But we're gonna have to see if that changes on this Monday night game. So overall, I think the Rams are the better team. They have much more depth now with OBJ, and definitely with Von Miller making his debut on Monday night as a Ram. He's gonna want to ball out. He's gonna want to show Ram Nation what he's all about. So I got the Rams winning this one in a nail-biter by the final score of 21-17. That's going to be all from me, guys. Really appreciate you guys hanging around. If you haven't already, please drop a like, subscribe, comment on how do you think this prediction went and what you think is going to happen in the game. If you haven't already, please make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at BuiltForLA for both of them. And I will see you guys later. Our house, your house, Rams house. See you guys later.